Good morning, good morning. We'll sing the whole day through. Good morning. How are you guys this morning? I know I'm late. I'm so late. I foolishly made an appointment this morning at 9 a.m. with someone I always enjoy talking to. Um, I don't know why I thought that I would be able to get off the phone in time for my live. I should have known better, right? Off the phone. You know what I mean? Off the Zoom call. I'm trying to do all the things, you guys. All the things. So, welcome to. Hey, Beth, how are you? Girl, I was talking about you. So, at the retreat this weekend, we had a lot of talkers and we had people who were kind of frustrated. And I had to confess that I was a talker at a retreat. But I did tell them that we were talking about baby Jesus, though. So, we weren't just talking about anything. Um, Welcome to Mad Scientist Monday. I know that I'm late. I apologize, but I'm here. I'm here. But today, you guys, we're going to be working out of the recycled journal. Oh, wait, no, that's not what I want. What is it doing? That's what I want. Alrighty, there we go. So we're going to finish up what we started last night. And let me turn that air off. Hold on one second. I must be spouting hot air because as soon as I start talking, the air kicked on this morning. So we started this last night during our Sunday night live. We're working in the new recycled journal. I don't know if you guys have seen these, but each page is a different spread of ephemera. These are, I was just talking to Megan on the phone, and I really took my time and curated these pages, you guys. Some of them are recycled papers. You guys will recognize them. And they are just beautiful pieces of ephemera because I really do collect it. And over the years, look at that. How pretty is that? And so there's all different kinds of paper in here. And my goal was for the paper to serve as inspiration for you. And the goal of this art journal is for you to have a place to explore, to play, to try new things. Um, and that is what we are doing today. So we're playing the mixed media mashup game. If you guys are watching from Facebook, you can put hashtag. Hey Elizabeth, how are you this morning? You guys put hashtag experiment, and you'll get a message with the link for you to grab the game. And if you're on YouTube, you can put hashtag experiment, and I'll circle. Well, I guess it won't work on the live feed because I can't see it. I have a QR code here. Let me put a QR code here. Um, and if you're on YouTube, here is the QR code for you to be able to go and to snag your copy of the mixed media game, mashup game, so that you can play with me. We do meet here every Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time in order to play the game. And like you guys, legitimately, I never know what I'm gonna do. So we only do whatever the sticks tell me to do. So last night I pulled four sticks. One was texture, it's visual texture over paper, which we still have to do this one. This one's the missing method for decoupage. And then decoupage, pair decoupage with the stencil. So last night we paired the end papers decoupage paper with the paper doll stencil, and that's how we created our form here using that. And then stamps, and it says stamp with embossing ink and powder. And so I use a stencil right here with embossing ink and powder, but we do have to use a stamp. And I forgot to find. I have to find my wing because that's what I want to do is use the wing from ILD, and we'll use that with the embossing powder and the ink. And so that's where we are, is to finish this morning. So if you guys have any questions, comments, or anything, we're really laid back. We're just creating together. Good morning, Glenn. Good morning, Karen. How are you guys this morning? This is a laid back setting. And you guys don't get to see me spin for too long today because we did start last night. And so we just need to finish. When we left off last night, I was painting a background to kind of carve her out. I did go back in with my burnt umber and put a little bit of that back in. Because I had done quite a bit of white, and my husband said he didn't like the white. So, but I think we do need to add a little bit more white back in there. So we'll do that. I really do need to find the stamp. Dang it. You guys know how when you see something somewhere specific in your mind, but you just don't know where that somewhere is? That is where I am with that stamp. And I know it's somewhere. I may have to do something different though, because I still don't know where it is. Let's see. I have my favorite ones kind of stashed in my bags, but I may have to use a different favorite one. Maybe I'll do this. I have these stamps, and these are from the texture stamp from ILD. That might be fun, especially because this powder is not your typical like embossing powder, like the really pretty stuff. This is more like a grungy, so that might be kind of cool with that textured stamp. And maybe I can use some of my mark making stamps. That might be fun. Instead of the wings. See, I'm being forced to do something different even now. I love this moth. That would be a very little wing though on her. But it might be cool. I don't know. We'll put that out. So maybe we'll use some embossing. Oh, this one will be fun, right? It's like a splatter. We were talking about last night about how I use that blue on her crown and how I really wanted to use it somewhere else on our project. So I'm going to pull this one. So I have like this small envelope in this larger one. And I think this might be fun to add to our background anyways. So I'll pull those out and we can add a little bit of grunge. We'll circle back to embossing powder, but not right now. Since I'm not going to do the wing, we'll do something else. Hey Michelle, how are you this morning? Girl, you're fine. I'm late and I'm the host of the party. So you're good. Do I want to add some fine line crackle? Elizabeth, if you're seeing the vertical and you don't want to watch that one, you can pop out and go to my channel and you'll see the horizontal one. So I'm streaming on both today. So you can do whichever one you want. So if you're watching me vertically and you don't want to watch that way, just pop out of that video and go to my channel and you'll see the horizontal one there as well. Because you can see more on the horizontal than you can on the vertical, certainly. And I did bring in some modeling paste. So this is Artemisia, and this is it's PintArt. This is just like their artisan brand. And PintArt does have some modeling paste. We got to play with it at the retreat this past week. The light modeling paste is so fun. So maybe, I don't know if we're going to play with that today. We're going to see. But I brought it out because I wasn't sure what my sticks were going to tell me to do. So let me gather myself for just a moment. And then when we got done last night, I wanted to I am just loving the paint swatches, and I wanted to add that to this piece. And I'm feeling like she needs something more than just what we have here. So I'm thinking I'm going to snag one of these. This one is from the Scrappy Masterboard, and it's just pieces left over. And I thought I would pull something from our Scrappy Masterboard to add to today's project as well. I'm thinking this would be nice. I'm just feeling like I need a little bit of color. So I am going to use the brush method. I could just cut this, but I kind of want it to look a little rough around the edges. So I'm going to use the brush method to cut my paper. Michelle, are you on? I'm assuming you're on YouTube. You can look for the horizontal one on YouTube. So both of them are streaming at the same time. And so you can find it both places. If you go to Facebook, I'll just be horizontal. But if you prefer watching on YouTube, you can just pop out and then you should be able to see the vertical one if you go to the Recycled YouTube channel. You can't find it? You know what? Let me see something. Let's see. Maybe I can put a link for you guys that'll take you directly there. Let me see something. So if I go to my channel, and live, and I should have the option to share this, right? So if you go, when you guys go to my channel, if you go to the live tab, so you see how they're both streaming at the same time. So click on the live tab, and then you should see the, oh, there we are. There's my share button. Copy link. And so I'm going to put this in the chat here so you can see it. And so if you click on that link, you should be able to find, or even copy and paste the link, you should be able to find the horizontal version. I do both because some people have their devices and they prefer the vertical, and some people prefer the horizontal. But I posted the link there that goes to the horizontal version. So if you guys don't like watching me vertically, you can find me there. But there is a live tab on my channel, and you should see both lives there. So I'm going to use the water method here to cut this. And I feel like that YouTube is pushing out the vertical version. That's interesting. And I kind of like that too. And so I'm taking my wet brush and I'm drawing a line right where I want my paper to tear. I like doing this because you get both an organic line that's also accurate, right? Because the paper is only going to tear where you draw the line. If you want it to be super accurate, then you're going to want to use a tiny brush and you want to tear right after you put your line. The longer the water sits there, the more it spreads. And so you don't have as much control. Okay. I mean, and you can just tear it dry too, but to me, this like gives you the benefit of both worlds. Is that too much? I think that's too much. We'll trim this off here. Which I'm sad because I'm really loving that grunge on the edge right there. And when you're doing the water method on like paper that has a lot of pigment, so if there's a lot of bright color, you may have to wait a few minutes or do it from the back. Because the pigments are sitting on top of the paper and they can act as a bit of a resist. So it may take a few minutes. Let me see. I'm just wanting to adding something to the background so it's not so one note. I wish I wouldn't have put that crown on yet now because I would take this paper like over here. I guess I still can. Let's do this one first. And you guys, I am literally making this up as I go. So if you are new here, hey, Shirley, if you are new here, Yeah, Michelle, use it. Use the book. It is so fun. And it's not a blank page. I feel like it's not as daunting as a blank page can be. So I have a silicone mat that I have here underneath my project. And so you guys see me putting product down. I use my silicone mat because I have yet to find anything that sticks to it. So it's super easy to keep my area clean because I can just pull it up, take it inside, wash it, and bring it back out. So I'm going to use the misting method for my decoupage. I'm going to mist that paper. And for this paper, I'm not going to paint it white. If I have a little bit of this grunginess showing through, I think that's actually going to be kind of cool. That brush is so small. I changed pants just before I came on so I could wipe my brushes on my pants if I want to. Good morning, Chris. How are you? Oh, Chris, what maybe you remember. What are we supposed to be doing in the membership this week? I still need to go back and watch our videos and just to see what we decided. Because we finished up with the couch. We spent the last 3 weeks in April painting a couch for my retreat inside of the Roy Cycle Besties group. And now we're supposed to be starting something new, only I don't remember what we decided. Okay. So I am just going to decoupage or collage. Some people say collage, decoupage. It's all decoupage to me, y'all. And because I've spritzed my piece, it's not going to respond to the moisture of the decoupage medium. Um, so it's super easy to get a wrinkle-free finish that way. And the Roycycle decoupage paper is thin, so it's going to virtually disappear as far as the paper over this. Although I'm probably going to use some charcoal. Oh, that's what I should use around my girl too. And I'm thinking I need this right here. So I'm just going to tear it where the crown is. It would have been cool if this crown could have gone over the top of this paper, but that ship has sailed. And I'm going to put this right here on the edge. I love collage so much because you can just layer and layer and layer to your heart's content. Oh, we don't want that hard edge there though, do we? So I'm just going to tear that. Okay. And I'm going to put a little bit of this over here just for balance sake and because I have it. Okay. So last night, again, my sticks were stamps with embossing powder. I still need to do that. We'll do that. I had to pair my decoupage paper with the stencil, so I used the recycled in papers with the paper doll stencil to create her. And then I used the misting method with my decoupage when I decoupaged her. And we use it again right now when we did that. And then I have to use visual texture over paper. I kind of think we have a lot of visual texture that we did with our background. But my favorite way to add visual texture is really using stamps. And so I think that we may be crisscrossing the two things, the visual texture over the paper with the stamp and the embossing powder, maybe. I'm probably still going to add some visual texture anyways with one of my stamps too. And I don't know why. Last night I was just so hyped up. Was my energy off last night, you guys? I dislike messing up such a beautiful Elizabeth, we're not messing it up. Like this is what the journal is for. It's for you to create in. The pages just give you a base. Like all this is still showing in the background. even though I'm creating over the top of it, I still have this layer underneath that's supporting whatever I do, right? And I don't have to like cover up every inch of my paper. I can let whatever's underneath peek through. Have you guys ever seen a piece of art and it just moved you emotionally? Usually what you're responding to is not even what you see directly on top. The thing that is moving you are all the layers underneath that you cannot like perceive consciously, but like unconsciously you can perceive them, and they move you. And so I think for us, a lot of us, we struggle with doing something and then covering it up, right? Because we don't want to cover it up. But don't think of it as covering it up. Think of it as like laying a foundation for what comes next. And it's still there and it's still underneath here. I can still see some of the topography from this page, and it's still supporting the work that I'm doing on top. And instead of having like a bright white in all these areas around here that are peeking through, I have something that is supporting the work that I'm doing. So that was the intention with this art journal, was to give you guys like a starting point. And when you start, you guys will notice here, I already gessoed this page. We did this at the retreat, but you can still see underneath that gesso. So I was able to create a visual space in order for me to be able to build onto without decimating my background. So it's still there supporting the project. It's just not at the forefront. Oh, Shirley, that sounds fun. I bought a canvas tote bag from Amazon. I was going to do one when I was doing my daily lives in January, and I didn't make it to it. So maybe you just inspired me to get back to that and do it, right? What was the product, the white that applied first on the page? So is that crafting with Tracy? So Tracy, is it your name, Tracy? Can I call you Tracy? So Tracy, this is just some white gesso is what I use, but you can use white paint too if that's what you have on your table. And that was just to build the space. The product that I'm using to add my paper today, I'm using Penta Arts Decoupage Varnish and Glue, and this is in matte. But you don't have to use this. I want you guys to use whatever you have on your craft table. So if you have acrylic products, then you can use like your matte medium to also decoupage with. If you have, pen art or craft products, you can use those. If you have Mod Podge, you can use that. If you're someone who has like chalk paint and like you have water-based varnish or top coats, then you can use that, right? So use what you have. You don't have to go out and buy anything new. You can use what you probably already have um, in order to be able to do these projects. I'm generally using acrylic paint, but you can use your chalk-based paint. You can use your clay-based paint on your projects. Yes, Tracy. Okay. Oh, good, Elizabeth. I'm so glad you enjoyed the retreat. Try using a small butterfly as a ballast. Uh, okay, Cindy, you got to help me out. The last few besties, you were working on the satie retreat. I know, Karen, but I thought we talked about what we're going to work on after the satie. Good morning, by the way, Karen. So I'm going to dry this a little bit while I contemplate what we're going to do next. I'm so sad that I couldn't find that wing stamp. You guys know I'm going to find it as soon as we get done, right? That's what's going to happen because my shop is a bit of a mess. Okay, it's always a mess, but it's a little bit more messy because of the retreat. We pulled things out and now they're back, but they're back in containers. So I have to kind of reorganize in here a little bit. You know what would be fun? I'm going to try to draw a wing. Let me see. I don't know how it's going to work out. We're going to see. I'm just going to work. Let's see. Wing. Okay. So let's see if Royce can draw a wing. That's okay, right? I mean, it's not perfect, but it's a wing. Okay. Because I just really want her to have a wing. Now, if I don't fix this, it's going to move every time I try to do anything. I don't like that line meeting right there. I like for that to feel a little bit more organic. And we were trying to kind of, I love the look of charcoal. And the way that we can fix this is I'm just going to use some more of my decoupage medium, but I could use matte medium. I could use a clear coat or a varnish, right? And I'm just going to go right over that charcoal, and we're going to fix that in place so it doesn't keep moving. And the thing is, sometimes we are so hard on ourselves when we're creating, looking for perfection. But do you guys ever notice that, at least for me, when I look at somebody's creativity, the thing that I'm often the most moved by is the quirky thing, right? Or the imperfect thing. But then when I'm creating, I'm always shooting for the perfection. Like, why do we do that? Okay. So now I don't have to worry about that moving anymore. That wing needs to be a little fatter, huh? Let's like add, um, what if I just added like another feather? Let's see. I don't know. I don't know if it's better, but it's there. I couldn't find my stamp, so we're making it work here. I probably could have done like 2 feathers right here. Maybe I still can. And I would probably, my charcoal would probably go down better if I had done some clear gesso on here before I started with it. But okay. It looks a little janky, but I like it. I'm kind of wanting to smear that charcoal a little bit. I was trying to carve her out last night with the white paint, but that stark white just didn't look good on here. So I think using the charcoal is a little bit better. From the decoupage black one. So Shirley's asking, what do you use to sell your decoupage art when it's complete? So Shirley, it depends on what I'm working on. Like if I'm working on here, I'm just going to use probably some matte medium or something to go over everything. If I'm working on something that's going to be outside, maybe, then I'm probably going to use like a Rust-Oleum, the like the clear spray paint, and spray over it before I put it out in the elements, or if it's going to be like out, like my porch is covered, right? So that will be fine. But if I were going to use something that was going to be like outside, I would look for like a marine grade sealer that had UV protection. So it really depends on what I'm doing. And if it's like an upcycled piece that maybe I'm going to sell in a booth, I would probably want to just use a really quality water-based varnish to seal it. So it really depends on what you're going to do with it, how you're going to seal your project. Good morning, Ruth. How are you this morning? Hey, Lisa. Are we going back to the gel plate, Karen? Are you sure? Oh, wait. I'm trying to go back up in my comments, and my mouse is being weird. Okay. One of my favorite paintings is Seurat's A Sunday Afternoon on the Island of La Grande Jetée. It's 10 foot by 7 foot, and it's all done in tiny dots of paint. Oh, yeah. I think I know which one you're talking about. It's an Art Institute of Chicago. I've seen it in person 3 times. There's just so much color and detail, and it's beautiful and amazing. Every time I see it, I find something new. I love Expressionism, and it's so interesting because you would think it'd be easier, but it's not. It is not. Because, I mean, that's the kind of art I'm hoping to produce someday. But, like, it's hard because you kind of have to not believe yourself. Like, we've been trained to believe how things should look, and it's hard to break free from that. Okay, so what are we doing? I've lost myself now. Stamped. Let's do, I want to do just some general stamping. I feel like the back is kind of flat, so we're going to add some visual texture. But not kind of texture you would think. I could go in with like a crackleer stamp or a grunge texture, and that would be texture, right? That would be fabulous. But I think that I want to do some typography. You guys know I love typography anyways, so any excuse, I'll take it. We're going to go in with some typography, and sometimes texture doesn't have to be like literal texture. It can just be any kind of energy that you put in the back. So like a lot of people love the one Scripty stamp from IOD, and you'll see them use it on the background to add more texture. And so that's kind of what we're going to do. I'm going to pick some typography here to add some texture to my background. And I believe these are all Tim Holtz stamps. That I probably should have cleaned. Oh, this one would be perfect, right? That would be nice for sure. This one kind of has the same vibe as that one. I'm loving that one. Okay, so I'm going to use those. And what did I do with my little circle? Because I love that thing. Did you guys see what I did with my circle earlier? Because I remember seeing it. There it is. That one. And maybe we do need just like some texture. I don't need that one. And I don't think I'm going to use that one. Oh, you were saying the butterfly. I might add that one too. We'll see. We will see what happens. Maybe that one. Creating like this can be so freeing because you're really just making decisions. Like, instead of trying to come up with like a whole plan, I'm literally making decisions just from moment to moment, which honestly I do a lot of times anyways, if I'm being honest with y'all. But it's really the case on this one. I'm trying to figure out if I need to make a mask because I don't want the letters to go over my wings. So super quickly. Oh. I'm going to make a mask real quick. And I'm going to mask her off completely because I don't want my letters to go over. I just want it to look like it's going behind her. So the mask will help me to cover her up. But my stamps will still be tight enough to her form that they'll look like they're going behind her, if that makes sense. Girl, Deborah, any excuse to put topography on something, I'm going to do it because I like it a lot. And sometimes I go too far. I mean, I might keep going on this page and I'll be like, oh, that was too far. But then right? And the reason why I made the journal 8.5 by 11 is because I know so many of us do like home decor stuff. And I wanted to create, I can put another feather for another wing on here. I mean, another like right there, maybe later. You can experiment inside of your journal and then you'll have an idea when you go to work on a larger project. So maybe I want to take this idea because our mixed media doesn't just belong in our journal. I can take this idea and I can use it on like a chopping board that I find at the thrift store, right? Or if I find an old frame, I can make it larger and put it in that frame. Or this would be really cool, like on a stool. I love upcycling stools because it's such a quick project and you have that round surface, the seat, and you can do anything to it because once you seal it, it's protected. So imagine a project like this on a stool seat. Like how fabulous would that be to have that in your space? I mean, if this is your aesthetic. If it's not your aesthetic, I get it. But sometimes we limit ourselves by kind of saying what goes where when it's our house and we are whole grown ass people and we can do whatever we want, right? We don't have to live by nobody's rules. I mean, like some rules, but you guys know what I'm saying. As far as like home decor, those videos crack me up when they're like, this is out this year. Like, I don't care. I am not trying to be in. So I do not care what other people think is out. My kids, they can redecorate my house when they get it in their inheritance. But for right now, it's mine. I'm just gluing this on because I didn't make my little thingy long enough. So I'm just going to glue it on there. So that way I can cover the bottom of her skirt. So now when I stamp, I can overlap. It'll just look like it's going to go behind her. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. So let's stamp. I like to use a brayer with my stamp. I always feel like I get just the right amount of ink when I do. I'll put that right there. So off camera, I'm just rolling over some ink. And I'm working over my project because I only have a little bit of space. But don't do this. Don't do as I say, not as I do, you guys. And this is going to be really dark, this first one. So I'm going to put it down here. Or maybe not. I think that, so sometimes what I find is, and I'm putting my letters upside down, but it doesn't matter. See what I mean? It's just a little bit of texture. But I think what's happening here, sometimes when I'm working with acrylics, like I get to a point where my surface is just slick and nothing will stick to it. So I am going to go over this. Do I even have any clear gesso in here? I hope so. So what I like to do when that happens is I go over everything with some clear gesso. So I'm going to dry this ink really quickly, and then I'm going to go over this. Hopefully I can find some clear gesso in here so that I can give my surface some tooth so I can continue to layer over the top of everything. right? My house is my happy place. And so I like having art everywhere and not just on the walls, but on surfaces too. That's why I love decoupage because you can like literally add art to any surface and easily too. This ink right here is a little thick. I may have to cheat and lift that. I'm going to see if I can lift some of that off. Oh, it didn't come off, so maybe I'm good. Whoops. Oh, I have clear gesso in the house. Should I go in the house and get clear gesso, you guys? So I'm at a place where it's going to be really hard. I mean, I can add paint, but I'm wanting to move into different products and I'm going to have a hard time because my surface is just really slick. So I'm going to need to, I don't think I'm going to be able to fit her on there. I'm sad. I need some more topography right here. I'm going to go ahead and use my stamp. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Everything is fine. What did I do with the stamp? And I need to clean my stamps too. These stamps act a little differently than the clean stamps that we're used to. I think it's more important to clean these than maybe it is to clean the clean stamps. Go for it. Oh yeah, that one was much better. I think I need to use something different. Let's try a little splatter. But the clear gesso just, it adds some more tooth to the surface so that I can continue building if I wanted to. Especially if I was going to go in with like some colored pencils, that would work really, really good for that. So this whole stamp is flat, but I'm not going to use, I'm just going to use like a little bit here. And I'll use a little bit right here. Right? Because I don't have to use the whole stamp. I can just use bits of it. And I'll put a little bit here. And I don't want to ignore this area over here. So I'm just going to go in with a little bit of texture. Oh, look at that, wrapped right around her ear. And then I'll dry this, and then we'll have to use embossing and a stamp. I think maybe this one will be fun to use with the embossing ink and the stamp. Because that's one of my challenges, so I have to do it. So this is the only stick I haven't done yet, is stamp with embossing ink and powder. Because I think if I keep going, I'm going to mess it up. So I need to stop. And 30 miles will be in Tennessee, probably in home by mid-afternoon tomorrow. Oh, that's right. You guys are still malingering. I cannot wait to hear about your road trip. I'm so happy you guys came to the retreat. I hope you guys had a good time. I hope Laura had a good time too. Oh, this one is dry already, isn't it? It's still a little shiny, so. So we've done some paints, some collage, some stamping, um, and that's why I made the pages of this book a little thicker, right? So it could withstand all that business. Because if this was regular paper, we might be having problems by now. Maybe. And if you guys purchased your journal and you haven't received it yet, they will ship out by the end of this week. I honestly thought we'd get like a couple of orders. I wasn't prepared for the number of orders that we got. So my goal is to try to get it to you guys in time to have it for our next Mad Scientist Monday. Right? The hardest part is when to stop. And I'm going to tell you, I've been riding along the highway of creativity and I've mixed my exit a few times. And I always know, like, right when I mix my exit, then never before. But I think we're getting close now to this one. And I'm just going to add this last piece because it's part of the challenge. Otherwise, I would probably walk away right now. So let's look at her before, right? I think she's done. How fun. I was debating on whether I wanted to go in and add some shadow to her face, maybe. But I don't know. I think I'll leave it. But we do have to do this part because it's a challenge. So I have here, this is an embossing dabber, and this is clear about embossing ink. And I like using the dabber because I don't always need like a full on, how do you say, ink pad, right? Sometimes you just want to add a little bit. I got to make sure it's like working before I start working with it. So I'm just pushing it down on my mat to get a little bit of ink to come out first. Okay. And it's clear, so I don't necessarily see it. And I want to put enough so that it transfers onto my surface. So I'm going to dab it a little bit over and over. Let's see. Yesterday I was saying that I wanted to have this color. Oh, let's do it right here. I have like a little postage stamp right there. That'd be cool. And it's going to be imperfect, which is nice. I do like when my circles overlap a little bit. Let me put some dust on there before that dries. I don't know if I have enough ink, you guys. We're going to see what happens. And I'm using like some grungy powder, but there is definitely some really beautiful embossing powders that you can use. And so I'm going to tap off this excess on this paper, and that's going to go right back in my jar. Oh, I inadvertently stamped the middle of my circle. That's interesting. It wasn't my intent, but ah! That's what happens when I'm trying to be lazy. I usually cause problems for myself. I was trying to do it one-handed. I do feel like I should do some embossing somewhere else. What if, so I have some more embossing ink. It's just clear. This is in like a little squirt bottle. I am thinking I wanted to stamp my wing, but what if I cheated? I keep moving down. Let me move back up. Let me put my top back on so that doesn't dry out. I'm going to put a little bit of this embossing ink right here. And I'm going to use my brush to put it on my wing. And we're going to see what happens. I might like it. I might hate it. I don't know. Look, I might be flying too close to the sun. We're gonna see in a few minutes. I probably should have just done the outside of the wing, but I can't stop now. Okay. Now, one of you are probably a card maker, and I'm driving you absolutely insane right now. I'm sorry. I don't follow the rules. Um, Michelle, I'm going to be in Crossville, Tennessee, for the 127 cell. Well, I'm going for the event. So the event is we're going to stay together, shop together, eat together. And then at the end of the day, we bring back our stuff and we make stuff with the stuff we find. A lot of stuff going on, right? I mean, and you don't have to make stuff with all the stuff you pick, but you can. I may have gone a little bit overboard with the ink, but we're going to find out right now. Like my line probably could have been a little thinner, maybe. It's going to be so much fun. I have not been in like 7 years. Okay. So now my embossing powder, you guys see it's dry and it's flat. And so I'm going to apply some heat to that. And it's going to change the nature of the powder. And different embossing powders have different effects. So like if this were a metallic, it would get like really pretty and shiny. And I have some metallic embossing powders, but I couldn't find them last night. I don't know. I have like a container with all my embossing supplies, and somehow I did not have that one. So, ooh, that one's actually running. I've never had that happen before. Interesting. Maybe because I put too much ink. I should let it drip. What would that even look like? Oh, is it gonna drip all the way? Oh my gosh, you guys. See, I just discovered something. If I use a lot of the embossing ink, my powder will drip. So I got one little drip right there, but you guys know I can exaggerate that some more, right? And so of course here I only had a little bit, so it's gonna behave the way that it's supposed to. And then I'm going to show you guys the embossing powder after I've applied the heat. What do you guys think about the embossed wing? You think I flew too close to the sun on that one? And so you can see, it's like, see, it changes the nature of it. It's like shiny. And so now that's set to, it's not going to move at all. And I do have my one little drip right there. I kind of want to put some more powder on there. What if I did like drippy embossing ink and then I put powder on it? And these powders last you forever because you use so little. So I put some more powder on there. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit of heat on that because I don't want that to stay tacky. And so I have that little drip. I am going to play with that idea. So I inadvertently put too much of the ink, and when I turned it upside down, it was actually dripping. And so I encourage that because you guys know how I love a good drip. But I do want to play with that idea of having drippy embossing ink because I use too much of the ink. I'm going to have to use a second layer. I put too much of the ink on there with my little brush. So I'm going to put some more embossing powder on there. It'd be fun if I could use like a different color of embossing powder over that color. You guys see what's happening, right? Like I'm playing and I could be upset that I put too much ink on there, or I could look for opportunities on how to kind of take advantage of that. So whenever I'm creating, generally speaking, I like to approach it from a position of experimentation because then if something happens that I didn't anticipate, then instead of me being disappointed, it becomes something that I can explore further or something I can learn from, not to do again. Like I want to explore this idea because I have some other like grungy powders in my stash. And so I want to explore. I've never thought about the ink being like something completely different or having its own value outside of holding the powder. And so just seeing it drip like that really does excite me because now I want to know like what other things can I explore with the ink. We shall see. Okay, I'm gonna stop now. Maybe I need a dauber. I think all my daubers are in a crate somewhere. I packed them for the retreat and then we didn't even use them. Let me see. I thought about we made these, you guys, inside of the membership. We've been playing with acrylic skins, and I thought I'd be able to use these, but I'm not going to be able to. But I do want to show you guys, like when we're decoupaging and we're talking about transparency of a matte product versus a gloss product, like look at the difference. This is matte and this is gloss. The gloss is completely clear and the matte is like hazy. So I was thinking that I'd be able to adhere these, but I don't think it goes. So we'll save those for another day. I want to grunge around the edge of my page and I can't find my dauber. So I'll just use a little charcoal. And yes, I have to grunge up everything. Do you use embossing to apply foil? You know what, Shirley? I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't know a ton about using the foils, but I think that there is an adhesive that you use. But I bet you that would be really cool if you could try a foil over. Well, I don't know because the embossing ink isn't super tacky. So I don't know if that would work with the foil. I do like the idea of using something with dimension and then foiling over it. I wonder if that would work with hot glue better. Rima's not here. She'd be able to tell us if the hot glue I've seen somebody foil over like a hot glue shape. So I'm not saying no, but I don't know. I'm not sure. But I do need to experiment with foils. I'm hoping that we have, well, inside of our membership, I like to have guests come in, teach things that I don't know. Um, and we had somebody come in and do foils about a year and a half ago. So it might be time for that. So that's my page. I didn't really do a spread, I did a page, but that's my page today. I'm not going to seal everything because I don't think that this ink is cured enough. I'd have to apply a lot more heat to that for it to set. And we are almost out of time. Um, but when I get done with this, I will likely go over the whole thing with some matte medium just to make sure everything is sealed in place. My pieces are moving around a little bit, so I am looking for a little brush because I have some edges. It's always my edges that aren't tacked down well, so I'm just going to go in there and tack those down. But that's our girl. I feel, is she standing out enough, you guys, or do I need to? I feel like she's blending in with the background a little bit. I know. Just say, walk away, Royce. Walk away. That's a little better. Oh, yeah, that's better. I'm going to leave this side light, though. And I'll just darken this side. Should I go around the wing with the charcoal? What do you guys think? Katrina, this is an art journal or creative journal. It's just some pages. This is the Recycled Creative Journal. I just released this a week ago. The pages are 80-pound paper, so they're thicker, and there's different ephemera on each page. And so we're creating in this one today. Um, and I'm not going to get into the definition of an art journal versus a junk journal because I know that that's like a whole discussion. I'm going to say it's a creative journal. Oh, Lord, causing problems. That embossing ink is really, um, I put too much. So I'm going to have to figure that out. I'm going to have to daub it up, or I'm going to have to just put some more powder even. So that is my experiment from today. Today is Scientist Monday because we come here, we experiment, we play, and we see what happens. Um, I honestly never really thought about the clear ink of being its own thing, and I'm excited about the prospect of being able to play with it. So we might see some more of that. And I don't think that I would have ever even considered it had I not been playing around today. So I'm excited about that. I feel like I need some more drips off of this wing, right? Now that I have that one little one, I feel like I need some more. What do you guys think? And do I need to add a little bit of dimension on the inside of this wing? Just a wee bit. See, this is what happens. Y'all, I'm going to go too far and then be mad at myself for not stopping. But I can't stop. Okay. See, that's better though. Okay. I'm done now. For real, for real, for real. Um, Yeah, Michelle. So you guys, look, I keep thinking of a real tip, a red lip too much. Ooh, a red lip would be pretty. I just don't know. Let me think about that one. I do like the idea though. An experiment book. Exactly. Exactly. Do I want to try a red lip? Oh, that would be good because this little poppy red right here, that would bring it over here, wouldn't it? Girl, I was trying to get off. See, you guys are problems. Do I even have red paint? I don't think I have any. My usually I have like a container full of paint, but we legitimately took so many supplies over to the venue space for the retreats. Oh wait, I have. Let me get some yellow. Okay, so I have some Pintart paint. This one is bluer. It has a little bit more bluer than this. This is more like a poppy. So I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow to it. Not too much because I don't want to do it orange, but I do want it to be kind of the same tone as this red. So I'm gonna add a little bit of yellow and see if we can make it a little more poppy-ish. You guys know like a poppy red, right? It's like almost orange, but it's red. And of course, this is likely gonna dry darker. You know what I'm gonna do? I am going to seal this before I do this and dry it. That way, if I mess up and I don't like it, I can wipe it off easy. So let me just do that really quickly. And so if you guys are layering and you get, because you know how we do, we get to a place in our project where we're nervous about messing it up. And sometimes you can like freeze and not push yourself as far as you want to go. One of the ways that you can kind of allow yourself to continue to play even after that is by sealing your project. And then you're creating like an isolation layer so that whatever you do on top, it's not like permanent, right? You can change your mind if you want to. So I'm gonna do a couple of layers because that paper kind of absorbed that first layer so readily that I'm gonna do another layer and dry that. And then we'll try the red lip. Right, Chris? You can never have too many drips. I mean, you could absolutely do junk journaling in this journal. You can do whatever you like, right? Like that's the whole thing is we all have different things that bring us joy creatively. And so you can use your journal however you want. Somebody asked me, is it to take the pages out or is it to create in? And really, if taking the pages out and using them is what brings you joy, then absolutely you can do that. Okay. I feel like I need a smaller brush, but I don't think I have one pointier than this one. That one is a bristle brush. That's not going to work. This is a line brush. I don't know. I don't know. Let's try this one. This one is smaller. I'm mess around and get my if I mess up, this is your fault. I'm gonna mix a little bit of that decoupage medium in there, just so it's a little looser. Like if I had varnish right there, that's what I would mix in there. So I just want to loosen it up a little bit. And I imagine her lips would be somewhere here. I want her lips to be full like mine. What do you guys think? Yes or no? I vote yes. And just lips. I'm not going to put any other features. And she is done. For better or for worse, she's finished. Um, and my biggest takeaway from this project is that I can make my embossing ink drip. And I will be playing with that and doing that in the future. One of the ways that you can use your embossing powders with your stamps is, you guys remember like these stamps that IOD put out a few years ago? And the reason why I love them is because they were so simple. You know, you have this wide open space in the middle. You can use a clear embossing ink on your stamp and stamp it on your surface, and then go over it with a clear embossing powder. And then you basically build like these little dams, and then you can just drop watercolor in between and let it run. And you can create something so beautiful, and it's never going to go outside of those lines that you set with the clear embossing ink and powder. One of these days we'll experiment with that. It's so fun. And you get really nice effects because your paint blooms, but it doesn't go outside of where you don't want it to be. So that is all I have for today. I hope you guys enjoyed my madness today. And we already have another page prepared for our next experiments. And I'm going to go in and dry all this. I do want to show you guys one more thing really quickly. When you're working in your journals, you're working with a lot of products that can get sticky. And one of the ways, I hope this is fixed because one of the ways that you can assure that your paint doesn't stick is when you're all done with your project is you can wax your pages. And so I'm going to wax it. I have, and it doesn't have to be like, I have this wax. This is like artists use this wax to seal their pieces, and you can absolutely use that, but you don't have to. Like, I'm actually going to use just some regular old clear DIY wax today, because I know for a lot of you, that's what you're more likely to have. I use way too much of this, and it is just not setting. Okay. Um, I'll deal with that later. So I'm going to take a little bit of wax. You don't need a ton. And I'm going to take my last paper towel. And you really only need that's even too much, just a little bit of wax. And I'm going to go right over my page. And so this is going to seal everything. And it's also, I don't want to go over that while it's hot, because it's like being a bit of a booger. So you guys learned a lesson from me too. Don't use too much ink when you're embossing. And so now when I close this page, I don't have to worry about this page sticking right to my other page, because the wax is going to keep my pages from sticking together. And it's also going to seal my project. So you can seal your project with like your varnish or, your matte medium first. Look, I still have some open charcoal in there. And then as your final coat, just go over everything with wax and wait for that to dry a little bit. And now that I've waxed this page, I can close it once it dries. and I don't have to worry about my pages getting stuck together. Because one thing that can happen is if you close your pages too soon, sometimes your project can feel dry to the touch, but it still might have some moisture in there. And so you can risk your pages getting stuck together. But if you wax them, then you don't have to worry about that. So now I can close this up. I'm gonna leave it open and let it dry completely. And then she will be all set. I do love the red lip. Who suggested that? Katrina, I'm probably breaking all the rules. And I know I am, but it's because I don't know them. So for me, this is just a place for me to come experiment and play. So I have no like set other than the products, right? The products have their own rules. Like if you don't want your charcoal to move, you need to set it. Don't use too much of your embossing ink. But as far as your creative choices, I honestly don't feel like there should be rules. And I do notice that when you look at the different niches, it's like this is how you do junk journaling. This is how you do art journaling. This is how you do this. And I just feel like it's my journal and I can do what I want to. And that's how I want you guys to feel too. But I am going to go. I have to head out to the warehouse today to get prizes out from the Recycled Creative Contest. You guys have a blessed week. Thank you so much for joining me. I hope you guys learned something, either what to do or what not to do. Or maybe you just learned that you can do whatever you want, which I'm in for that too. And I will be here again next Monday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. And we will do another experiment and we'll see what happens. Until then, you guys have a blessed week. And remember, where experimentation goes, creativity follows. And so if you've been feeling creatively stuck, or you haven't been able to create lately, maybe you're thinking about something too big. And a page in a journal is really small. And if you give yourself permission to just play an experiment as opposed to making something specific, you may find your inspiration there. But you guys have a good week and we'll see you next time. Oh, is it Rajani? I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Yes, the red lip was perfect.